Welcome back to the channel and another episode on the Opel Manta project. So last time you've seen us get this roof on, we've done a little bit more work on here. We started putting a little bit of a skim on the back pillar there. We're now moving into our body kit. So we've got the side skirt in, obviously we've got the front wing fastened on, and we've just fastened in this rear wheel arch temporarily. And what we've done here, we've marked up some holes, we've drawn all the way around this kit. We've then took the kit off and we've marked up a 10mm lip all the way around on our line and marked up some points here where we drilled the holes on the car. So this is now all lined up nicely and this is all fastened on. So the next thing we're going to do, Tom's just finishing off a little bit of filler work on this side, and then this wheel arch is going to come back off the car, and these rear quarters are now ready for primer. So we want to get some paint behind this kit, so we're going to take this kit back off, we're going to lob some primer on there, let the primer go off, flat it back a bit, and we're going to get some of the orange, what we're painting this car in. This car is going orange and it is a Audi colour. So we've got some paint left over from another car that we painted in this colour a couple of years ago. So the plan here is we're going to get some primer on there, let the primer go off, knock it back, and then we're going to paint these rear quarters just so that we've got some paint behind our wheel arches, and then obviously these rear quarters will be painted again when the whole car goes in for paint. Tom has got the primer on, got a bit of a heat to go in just to help the paint cure a little better. So then we get on that side, you can see all these lines are looking really nice now, and again the kit will come to about here, so you won't see a lot of this. And again, the aim of the game today is just literally to get the orange on here so that we've got paint behind the kit, because the car will be painted with the kit on. We are screwing the kit on, but it's also going to be bonded on, so once it's on and it ain't coming back off anytime soon. So this will go off now, give it another quick coat, let that coat go off, and then we're going to start to lash some orange on there, and then we can get our wheel arches bolted and bonded back on. Right, so that's the orange on, guys, and again we ain't going for any quality finish at this point. This is literally just so we've got paint behind the kit. This is the colour the car's going to go. It's not going to beat everybody's taste, but it is an 80s car, an 80s nice bright colour. I have done a Manta in this colour before. I'll actually drop a couple of pictures down just above there now for you to see. The old car that I built, that was an i240r replica as well, in this same colour, and it looked absolutely brilliant. Everybody loved it everywhere we took it, so it is going to be an in-your-face car, and I think that is definitely an in-your-face colour. Just started to mock this kit back up on it now. You can see that it fits nice and tight up against the bodywork. So once we're completely happy with the fit of this, we will be, as I said earlier, bonding this to the car. We're not going to do that just yet because there might be a few fine alterations that we're going to do, so we'll let Tom, our body man, cast his eye over that before we bond it on. Same again around here, we're going to be doing the same thing. We're going to mock this arch up, get the side skirt on, make sure we're happy with the gaps between all three sections, so the front wing, the side skirt and the rear wheel arch. Obviously there's a split between those, so we want to make sure that those gaps are all right and everything's nice and even. We're going to be taking some measurements and measuring the distances of the arches to the sill of the window, and we've also now got cross bracing. We've sticker flexed all this in just to take out the tin canning effect from the roof, and we put some shocks in there just to hold that up until all this sticker flex goes off. And again, you're never going to see that, guys. Obviously there is a roof liner that goes over that as well. It's been a couple of days since the last clip. Kevin and Tom have been down here making some progress while I've been at work, so they haven't actually got any footage of what's been going on since the last clip, so I'll give you a little rundown. We've actually took this car that was originally on the body turner off the body turner. We've took the axles off Kev's car, which are now down there, so these are now off, and we've managed to get this car on the body turner. Tom's been busy throwing some primer around. As you can see, the engine bay is now in primer. You see on the last clip we got these rear quarters done and all painted so that we've got some paint behind the kit. Tom's now also prepped the top of the quarters. We've stripped all this down to bare metal all the way around this frame and carried out a couple of repairs. There was just a couple of bits of holes in this boot frame, and what we was worried about is obviously as the water is coming down the back of the car, making its way down here, because there was holes in this, the water would just basically go under the seal straight into the boot and just start to rock the car out again. So we've repaired that frame. Again, Tom has stripped all this down to bare metal, started working his way into the roof, and he's given a bit of a skim where we welded our new roof skin on. He's also been busy with the back panel. That's now pretty much all prepped up. This is just a little bit of dirt where we've been prepping the underside of the car. So that back panel's come out really nice. So what we're doing now, we've got the car on its side, as you can see. We've started to prep up some of the underside and starting to assess the bottom of this car now. We've found another hole up in this quarter, and so we've knocked all that out, cut a piece out. Kev's fabricated a piece for that. I'm just about to weld that in. And we've also noticed that the chassis rail here looks quite soft, so I've just punched a hole in that with a hammer. We are going to be putting a section of the chassis rail in there as well, and Tom has started to strip back all this bulkhead. We're going to get some of this down to the bare metal, probably to about here, because we know the back of the car there now is solid. So we're going to strip this bit out down to the bare metal and assess all this and make sure everything's good and solid there as well. So I'm going to crack on now, guys. We're going to get this patch welded in, and we're going to get the chassis rail chopped out and a new piece welded in there. Make my way over to our parts container where we have some chassis rails in stock. So in here we have many Manta parts, and over here somewhere we should have, there we go, chassis rails. Is that the side we need? Nope, that's the wrong side. The last one we come to is the correct one. So obviously it's got the cutout for the jacking point, so that is the one we need. well. What are you doing now?
Drilling the holes.
On the chassis rail?
Yeah.
Let's punch them. Okay, so we've just made a nice little patch for that bit. Where's the old bit gone, Kev? Now the reason we've changed that bit isn't actually because of rust, it's because it was all crushed and dented and a bit of a mess really, so while we're here we may as well change that. So that bit's come out really nice, and we've actually managed to make a factory looking drain hole as well, which sort of looks like that one. So as you can see there now, we've primed up the area where we're going to be putting our chassis rail, and we've also primed the inside of our new piece of chassis rail, so it's got some protection in there. We've zinc fossed this, phosphoric acid, cleaned all the bits of rust up. That piece of chassis rail now fits in there nice and tight, butts up beautifully. So next job, we're going to get this spot welded in, seam it round the ends, spot weld it on that end, grind those bits of spot welds back, and I think that could well be all the welding done. But we'll see. So here we have our replacement cross member, which has been strengthened. We've got additional plates welded in there. And we've got additional plates welded in underneath here and underneath the centre section as well. And the reason for that is to stop some of the flex, because they are notoriously weak, these sections and the wishbones and stuff on the Opel Manta. So this is one that's been in storage for many years, that's just never been used. So we're now going to get around to using this. We are going to be cleaning this back and repainting it and polybushing it. Now, for some bizarre reason, one of the engine mounts have been chopped off this, so we have gone ahead and removed the engine mount from our old cross member, and Kevin is now going to explain what we're doing here.
So I've cut this off the other cross member, and I've got my angle finders. Now the centre is set flat, this one's set at 35 degrees. I've got all my lovely diagram there. So we've got measurements such as 78mm from that top edge there to the top of there. So we put that on there, we roll it, we get 78mm to there. It's 90mm from there to these bottom edges, which you probably can't see on this side. 90mm, so we lay that on there, and then we tip that this way, and you've got, give or take, 90mm. This was a difficult one to work out, the side to side play, but I think what I've done is just squished it on, so it sits level, and if you look straight down it, the centre of the mount should be bob on level with that hole. Should be able to see that hole through that hole, with the centre of the engine being directly across.
I thought you told me all the welding was done.
Yeah, I lied. That's bang on 35 degrees. Spot on that.
Okay, so we've now ground back any flaky bits on the underside of the car. We've treated it all with the usual stuff, same sort of treatment we did on the roof with the phosphoric acid and the built amber stuff. Cleaned it all up, primed it just on those bits. We're not priming the hole underneath of the car because a lot of this is solid, and this car has been bed lined in the past, so we're worried that the primer may not stick to that bed liner. We have scuffed it up a bit, ready for the next lot of stone chip what's going to go underneath here. We're actually using a Opel product under here now. We've gone around all the edges, seam sealed literally every crevice and seam that we could get to. Hopefully that'll stop a lot of the water ingressing into various seams and chassis rails and stuff. Obviously the chassis rails have got drain holes in, so it can drain back out of there. And again, the piece we put in there, we also put the drain hole in there as well. So the next stage for this now, we're going to let this all set. All the seam seal is going to go off, and then this is pretty much ready for the stone chip to go on underneath there. We'll be giving it another quick clean off once it's all dry. So what we're going to do now, we're going to roll this car back over so it's the right way up, and then we're going to start to mock up the final wheel arch on this side here. We're going to set this against the car, mark it up, get our holes drilled so we can then get the sill on and make sure everything's lined up. Once that last arch is on, we can then remove all the front wings, because at the moment we need the front wings on to line the side skirts up, which sets our forward and backward position for the rear arch. So once the arch is on, we can strip the whole kit back off again, and then obviously when it's back to a bare shell with no wings on, no body kit on, we can then get up inside all the inner wings with the stone chip and all inside the A-post and everything as well. So let's get to it. Let's get this car rolled back over and start mocking this arch up.
You drop yours on your roof.
That's a bit of a dodgy way in on wheels, you know. hold yours and I'm going to pull this one out.
Okay.
You roll it that way slightly. Oh, the other way slightly actually. Right, I'm out. You out?
I'm out. I'm go. Right. Round we go. These nicely balanced. Right, yeah. That's not my best. Follow them. Going round. You've got the gas bar on that, so get mint. Don't want that on that. Mint, yeah. Not touch more. It's got to have itself touch on it. So we're marking again. Don't know. We're doing the same holes. Yeah, top draw. From the front of there, right? 5 inch. Because that sets it, that sill. That sill's got to be right. Isn't it? So that's all our holes drilled. Ready for the kit. We're just getting some screws ready now. And we're going to screw this kit on. Well, we're going to put the kit on and then drill some pilot holes from the back into our wheel arch, and then we can put the screws through and fix it on. Have a check of it, make sure it all lines up right, make sure it goes nice and tight against the body. Once that's done, we can then start to remove the whole kit, as we mentioned earlier, and get the car ready for the underseal to go on. So that is the kit now fully installed. You can see that's fit really nice and tight against the rear quarters. This is going to be bonded in as well and sealed on the final fit. This is just a mock-up at the moment, so obviously the whole car's got to be painted yet as well.
but that is looking really, really nice indeed. Looking really sharp, really straight. We've got a bit of primer in the engine bay as well. That's looking pretty good. Again, this is just basically a guide coat. Just gives us something to sort of pick up any blemishes on. There is going to be little bits of filler work to do in there as well. So Tom will guide coat that now. He'll dust a little bit of black paint over there, start to flat it down and pick up any high spots, any low spots, any bits that need attention and a bit of skimming. All the underside is now ready for the stone chip. So that is going to be on the next episode. It's going to be getting this all stone chipped and getting all the underneath finished off. And then we can turn our attention to front cross member. This is the old front cross member. So these springs are actually only about 12 months old. So we're going to be reusing those. And these are Spax springs, lowering springs. So we're basically going to be taking the springs off that. And that is pretty much all we're going to be using off this cross member, because we're actually going to be doing a 5-stud wheel conversion on here and also a bigger brake conversion. So those hubs, brakes and everything else is no good. And we're also going to be fully polybushing the replacement cross member as well, which is that one there. Again, this is all going to be painted. It's having all new ball joints, upper and lowers, new trap rod ends and all that sort of stuff. Everything on there is going to be pretty much brand new with those polybushes going in as well. We've also got a replacement rear axle to replace this old one, and in the replacement axle there is a limited slip diff, which is a ZF diff, and we're also going to be looking at doing the 5-stud conversion on the back of here, and along that with that we're going to be also doing a rear disc conversion. To do the 5-stud conversion on this, we've actually got to get the half shafts pulled out and machined. Basically we've got to have the old holes welded up and then 5B120 PCD drilled out into those original half shafts, and then we're going to look at doing some sort of a nice big brake conversion on there as well. So yeah, we've also got a steel torque tube, because these are notoriously pretty weak. Inside there is basically a prop shaft, and the prop shaft in there can flex and puts this torque tube under a bit of pressure, and these are prone for cracking. So we've also got a steel torque tube to go on there as well, which should allow for a little bit more power without having to worry about that diff exploding. So that is going to be it for this one, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I hope you agree this car is now really taking shape, and that is a lot of progress in a short period of time. Only a couple of days worth of work there going into this. There has been 3 of us on this car. So as always, drop us some comments, let us know what you think. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Keep an eye on this build. Give us a like, give us a share, and we'll see you all in the next video.